Well, my Aunt Augusta Verner here in Watkinsville, Georgia on Thrasher Drive. You were telling me, Augusta, about how long you go back with Walton EMC?
I go back to 1945 when I was living in a three-room house with 4 children, and I washed diapers and stuff at the spring. I had to draw my water. No electricity, an outhouse, and I had to guarantee Walton EMC $4 a month before they'd run me a line.
Is that right?
Then all I had was just one dangling light in the kitchen.
And one dangling light in the kitchen, and then what about, when did you add electric appliances? Like what did you do for cooking before that?
I used a wood stove.
And how did you keep things cold in the fridge?
You took them to the spring.
Kept them in this cold water?
Didn't have no fridge.
Did you have an ice box?
Didn't have no ice box. Grew vegetables everywhere.
And so when do you remember getting your first electric oven or refrigerator?
Let's see. It was about, I would say about 1950, maybe.
So, and you know, my mother tells me about when Papa brought home an electric stove for her mother, that her mother broke down and cried, not with tears of joy, but she was afraid she wouldn't be able to cook for the family on the electric stove like she did on the wood stove.
Well, that is true too. Now, I went to Atlanta on the bus and picked up a pump to go in the well, brought it back, went to Cesar No Button.
Oh, the one on Ponce de Leon?
Yeah.
You rode a bus to Atlanta.
Yeah.
To buy a pump.
Yeah, got a pump to go in the well.
And that was a big deal.
It was a great deal.
How many times did you draw water from the well on a typical day? Lord knows.
Don't know how many times we drew water.
And did your washing diapers down at the spring?
Yeah, we had a pot that was built into some kind of smoke doodad down there that we washed them in, but it was right at the spring.
I'll be dogged. Well, would you tell one more story here? And I've surprised you with this little video, but you mentioned about my Uncle Edwin, who I've never had the privilege to know. See, we lost him before I was born, but you and Uncle Edwin, with your home here and the sweet potatoes, he was known as the sweet potato man. And what about a piece of mail that arrived here one day?
It arrived addressed just to Mr. Potato Man.
Just that was all that was on the envelope?
Mr. Potato Man, Watkinsville.
And it came and it made it to y'all's house.
And it came to my house.
That's saying something.
Well, it really is. We've exploded something. See, all that land across the street, all the way down to the creek, all the way up to Mulberry Street up here behind Oconee.
Yes, ma'am.
Was all in the farm. Part of the farm we bartered for.
Yes, ma'am.
We, Mr. Ralph Fleischer, who lived at the top of the hill, would come down here in his big old Buick and tie the hampers of greens and stuff on his thing, carry them to Athens and sell them, and then on this slip of paper he would write how much money he got for them. And then the next time he'd do the same thing. And when we had paid the complete price of the land, he gave it to me, and I still have it.
Oh my gosh. Well, y'all, how many acres of sweet potatoes did y'all have back in the heyday?
Well, we raised them more than just in Oconee County. We had 100 acres.
My goodness.
And we had a storage house down here that you can store 4,000 bushels in. It's underground.
And that was back in the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's, I can't imagine your loss, Augusta, but I know my loss is just not knowing my Uncle Edwin. But I know him through you, so.
Well.
And all your children.
He was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful guy.
And
Heaven sent.
And you met where?
In a mud hole on a possum hunt.
At the Perkles.
At Ma Perkles. She was my aunt. We lived with her a while because Mother died when I was 8. So we lived at her house until I was in 6th grade. Went to Florida, finished junior college, learned to fly, and then I came back to Georgia one summer, and I was going to teach school after 2 years. And she said, no way are you going to teach until you have your degree. So I borrowed money for the first quarter at the university, and then I worked over there in the dining hall to earn the rest of my way through. Lived in the 4-H house over there, because at that time they had a 4-H house.
And you graduated what year?
1942.
And well, God bless you. And you met Uncle Edwin possum hunt in a mud hole at the Perkles. What year would that have been?
Dear. That probably was in 40, yeah. That probably was in the fall of 42.
Fall of 42. Well, I sure am glad that Uncle Edwin found you, because that gives me the chance to sit here with you today. And I love you, Augusta.
I love you too.